Thank you guys. Wow. Well, here we go. Here we go. Welcome to tomorrow's fitness trends and today's simple solutions. As Chris pointed out, Todd Durkin and I have started what we call the first studio holistic franchise. So there it is, a little picture of Impact X Performance and some of the things going on in Huntington Beach. First, pop quiz for you. What percent of our industry actually seeks continuing education after they get their certification? What percent do you think it is that continue to go to conferences like this and continue their education? What do you think it is? 20. 20? What do you think? 10? 15? And the answer is 10%. 10%. 10% of our industry actually seeks continuing education. So you got to find somebody and you got to give them a high five and tell them you're in the top 10. Come on, give them a high five, tell them you're in the top 10 because you're here. Welcome to the top 10%. And then let's give a round of applause to Perform Better for an awesome conference. And because this is tomorrow's trends, today's simple solutions, and we're taking a look at where we're going, I want to kind of take a look at our history here. I want to have everybody stand up real quick. Everybody stand up. It's after lunch. You know, we kind of got to wake ourselves up. We got full bellies. All right. If this is your first Perform Better, please raise your hand. Okay, we want to give you a round of applause for being here. All right, I'll have the first-timers sit down. First-timers sit down. If it's your second, third, or fourth year, raise your hand. Okay, all right, let's give these guys a round of applause for coming back. Thank you, guys. You can go ahead and sit down. Now I'm looking for 5th through 9. 5th through 9. 5th through 9. All right, round of applause. Thank you. You guys have been coming here over 5 years. Good stuff. You guys can sit down. 10 or more. 10 or more. Wow, good stuff. Good stuff. Round of applause for you guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. No matter how many years you've been coming here, no matter how many years, today, we're all about to learn something new together because this industry is changing and it's changing fast. But you know, as much as we're going to talk about the direction of the industry, it's not what's going to determine your direction, interestingly enough. What's going to determine your direction is your mind. Your thoughts determine your direction. And to illustrate that point, everybody should have been given a washer and a string on their way in. If you didn't get a washer and a string, raise your hand because I got some coaches that have been helping me out. Anybody still need a washer and a string? Anybody? Okay, over there. Vicki, would you help me out over here? Helen and Bob. And, right over here, Vicki. Helen and Bob and Maria over there. Okay. So your thoughts determine your direction. I think Chris might need one in the back too, Vicki. Chris, I got to have you try this with us. It's really interesting. Here's how it works. We're going to take this washer and this string, and I want you to steady it. So sitting in your chair, since you don't have a table in front of you, you can steady it on your elbow. And essentially, I want you to stop that. I want you to stop that washer from swinging, right? You're holding this string between your thumb and your forefinger. I want you to focus, not move it, it should be steady. I want you to just focus on that going forward and back, and be patient. You're not moving it, but you'll start to see that your thoughts move it. Your thoughts actually move this washer. And at first you might be thinking, well, that's a bit of a fluke. Maybe it was just going to go forward and back anyway. Okay. So now I want you to start to think about it moving side to side, side to side, side to side. If you believe it, you'll see it. Now, I want you to think about that washer going in circles. Circles. You're not moving it, your thoughts are moving it. Expectancy determines outcome. Every cell in your body is eavesdropping on your thoughts, your internal dialogue. Now I want you to reverse those circles. Reverse those circles. Think about it reversing. You're not moving it, your thoughts are moving it. And so it is with life. There's a direction to our industry, but whether or not you go in that direction is actually based on how you think. So just a little illustration of that point, because I have a warning for you. This is the warning. If you do not change directions, you might end up where you're heading. It's almost like a Yogi Berra quote, right? It's so simple and profound. If you do not change directions, you may end up where you're heading. And it's by Lao Tzu. But what else did Lao Tzu say? Watch your thoughts because your thoughts become your what? Actions, right? Watch your actions because they become your character. And watch your character because your character becomes your destiny. Right? But it all starts in the thoughts. See, a few years ago, I think I started coming to Perform Better about 15 years ago, and this is what I needed. This was the formula. Here's the formula. Some business lessons from Tom Plummer, movement assessment from Gray Cook, John Brookfield teaching us about the battle and ropes, a little energia from Martin Rooney and our very own Todd Durkin, go home with a few new pieces of equipment from Perform Better, and man, I'm ready to rock. I'm ready to rock. What else do I need? Back then, this was the most popular fitness show on TV. Anybody know what this one was? Any guesses? Say it again. Biggest Loser. Biggest Loser. This is how butt-kicking functional fitness. Right? This man's hanging on the edge of the sled. He got by the feet. Hollywood's really good at capturing the hearts and minds of people and saying, this is what people want. We're going to make a TV show about it. And knowing that Biggest Loser was what people wanted, when my wife and I opened up our fitness business in 2013, that's what we gave them. We gave them butt-kicking functional fitness. In fact, we're still doing that a little bit today. Maybe a little bit like, yeah. What? Let me just give you a little weight there. That's Mike. Oh, there's Jeremiah. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you for the piggyback ride. I appreciate that. Just all in good fun. But the formula worked, right? The formula was this. We opened up our doors in 2013 and we grew from 0 to 400 members in our first year. And this was not open access. This was not open access. These were coaching clients. 0 to 400 members. See, back then, it was all about this. It was about the pound of fat. Pound of fat, it was so important. In fact, I had this pound of fat. If you got disappointed that you only lost a pound of fat, I'd be like, you pulled one of these off your body, right? This is exciting. This is exciting. This is what I held in my hand. This is how I coach people, right? Get excited about that. And that was the focus. But today, we hold in our hands something much more valuable. And it's not as tangible, but it's there. Because today what we hold in our hand is longevity. Longevity. Longevity is the new fat. See, just a few short years ago, what we needed from our thought leaders was we needed them to teach us how to run a high-energy boot camp. And that's still part of it. But now what we need our thought leaders to teach us about is optimization. Right? As Todd is a doctor. Dr. TD in the house. See, shift happens. Say it with me. Shift happens. What'd you say? Did you say shift? You say shift? All right. Because, you know, I can't help but hear that and kind of think of this clip. Anybody know this movie? Anybody know this movie? I'm dating myself a little bit, but it's a funny clip. All right, here it is.
Whoa, man, this ran through a big pile of dog shit. It happens. Come on, shit. Sometimes. Some years later, I heard that fella did come up with a bucket sticker slogan, and he made a lot of money off of it.
Sometimes shift happens, sometimes shit happens, you know, whatever way you look at it. Raise your hand if you think pre-pandemic times in the fitness industry were a little bit easier. Okay? If you didn't raise your hand, there's a few options. Either you're new to the industry, you could be lying, or you were part of the shift in some way. You were part of the shift in some way, right? Maybe you were already ahead. Maybe you were already stepping into what was next. Okay, and if so, you know, kudos to you, because what happened was we shifted our focus from just fat loss to longevity, which came with it things like optimization, recovery, mindset. The marketing that's there now is different than the marketing that was there before, because you're speaking to somebody with a different mindset than what we had in pre-pandemic times. So the purpose of this presentation today, is to introduce you to the trends that you can capitalize on so that you can become even more successful in your fitness profession or your fitness business. Now, let me ask you this question. How many of you believe that the industry is in a downtrend? Not as many people working out, maybe they're just staying at home, maybe they're doing something different. Do you think that way? No? Anybody think that way? No? Okay, good. Good, you're in the right room. Because as of 2023, it's a $6.3 trillion industry expected to rise to $8.5 trillion by the year 2027. And let's just focus in on the things that really have a lot to do with us in our presentation today and the work that we do. Mental wellness, it does have to do with you. We just talked about the shift for the mindset focus. Traditional and complementary medicine. Complementary medicine. If you started out in fitness a while back, you probably never would have thought medicine has to do with me as a fitness professional. That's right. Public health prevention and personalized medicine. Here's $1 trillion of it right here. Healthy eating, nutrition, weight loss. Another $1 trillion of it, physical activity. And it's going to rise to $8.5 trillion. You just have to be in the receiving line. You have to be where the trends are at. You have to, as Wayne Gretzky said, skate to where the puck is going, not to where it's been. So, what do you think are going to be the top 5 fitness trends? Shout them out. Tell me what they are. AI. AI? That's a good one.
Recovery.
What's that?
Recovery.
Recovery. Okay, well today, I'm pulling from top resources. Here's Smart Health Clubs. Smart Health Clubs, here's what they said. They said, advanced wearable technology leading the fitness industry. Now you might be thinking, wearable technology, that's just the stuff that my clients buy, right? And they buy it and they wear it in the gym, but how's that gonna grow my business? Well, you'd be surprised, and we're gonna learn that today. Omni fitness, write that down. It's a new term in fitness. What it means is that people no longer want a one-horse show. They want a place where they can come and they can get their workout, they can get their recovery session, they can address their mindset. They want a holistic environment. That's called Omni Fitness. Increased focus on biohacking, AKA longevity, health optimization. Popularity of mobile fitness apps. Now you might be saying, oh, my clients don't want another app. I would argue, yes, they do. They're downloading new ones all the time. You know, they want to figure out their sleep and their HRV and whatever other apps will help them. They want a 24/7 ecosystem on their health. And exercising for mental health. So this is what Smart Health Clubs had to say. But we don't want to just go with one source. I like to, get a few different sources. So what did the ACSM in 2025 have to say about 5 of the top trends? Wearable technology, okay, we're in alignment. Mobile apps. Data-driven training technology. Data-driven training technology. Remember I said the wearable. Is that just something that our clients buy and that they just use on their own? Or are we supposed to take that data and do something with it? Exercising for mental health. And health wellness coaching for lifestyle medicine programs. The coach of today is being called to be more than a fitness coach. You're being called to be a lifestyle coach. You have to address the whole self. It's not just about a workout. And then here's Wellness Creatives company. They put out an industry trend report. It cost you $400. So this is a $400 slide. Okay, I got the price of admission right up here. I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes. Here's what they said. They said, wearable tech, number 1. Holistic health, number 2. Exercise for mental health. And this means that the ads look different. Get your mental reset, mental recharge, things that we'd never seen before in advertising. They weren't working pre-pandemic. Longevity, data-driven training. And if you feel like people are paying less attention to fitness today, it's not true. The McKinsey report says this, 82% of consumers, especially Gen Z, consider wellness a top priority in their life. Top priority, 82%. And take a look. Now, just a few years ago, if she's looking at her watch, she'd be like, oh, she's going to time her run. Or maybe she's going to GPS it. She's going to use that GPS and she's going to figure out how far she went, where she's going. Today, She's saying, well, according to my sleep and my HRV, I should probably just do a zone 2 run right now. Or, maybe I can kick it up a notch because I'm doing better, right? So it's a whole different feedback mechanism, and we got to tune in. Optimization is the new transformation. Optimization is the new transformation. You heard it here. We're talking about living in the times of medicine 3.0. Who's read this book by Dr. Peter Attia? Have you read that book, Outlive? Yeah? Great book. Great book. You got to read it several times. There's like knowledge bombs on every page. But he talks about how we've gone from 1.0 to 2.0 to 3.0. What was that journey? What does that mean? Well, let's talk about it. 1.0, Hippocrates, the father of medicine. He came about with a radical concept. It was, if you are sick, the gods are not punishing you. It may have to do with the foods you consume, the environment. So he taught us, let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food. Then along came Louis Pasteur. Now this is medicine 2.0. Medicine 2.0, because of the study of germ theory, gave us radical ideas again. Doctors stopped touching corpses, and they actually washed their hands before they delivered a baby, which made a big difference in the number of infant deaths that you had. We created things like antiseptics, vaccines. We actually eliminated some forms of disease. This is called treatment. Treatment. Medicine 3.0 is called prevention. But how many know that it's tough enough to get your insurance company to pay for just treatment, right? Do you know that, right? I mean, that's tough enough, right? So the insurance company isn't going to pay for your prevention. They're not there yet. That's why, write this term down, there's now terms called gym as clinic. Gym as clinic. You can Google this online, you can look it up later. Just like Omni Fitness, these are terms that are coming up in recent years. Medicine 3.0 is about prevention, and they're looking to you, Gym as Clinic, to be the resource for that. Which means, I can't believe it, but this is now part of our business. This is part of our business, blood work. Blood work. I didn't see this one coming. I didn't think this was going to happen, that, in our industry as fitness professionals, that people would be coming to us to try to get their blood work done and essentially have this holistic health environment for optimization. But this blood work industry, it's a $113 billion industry, and it's growing at a compound annual growth rate of 7%. It's expected to almost double by the year 2034 to $210 billion. And guess what it's driven by? It's driven by people that want to quarterback their own health. They want to quarterback their own health. They want prevention. They want medicine 3.0. So what do they want to test? They want to test cellular deficiencies. They want to see if maybe they should have some hormone therapy. And peptides. Peptides. You'll get information to where maybe a peptide therapy could help. Cellular deficiencies. Your clients, millions of people are listening to the Joe Rogan show. Right next to that show, they're listening to the Impact show. They just kind of flop back and forth between those two, right? But millions of people are listening to this. So what's Gary Brecka saying about cellular deficiencies?
If you can afford it, get a genetic methylation test. Once in your life.
How much does one of those cost?
About $500-600.
Oh, okay.
$600 to do it through me, and you'll do it once in your lifetime. But you don't have to do it through me. There's other great companies. But do a genetic methylation test. Get 5 specific genes looked at: HFR, FTRR, FTR, HCY, and COMT.
And you do this for
The balance of your lifetime, you will never guess on what your body is deficient in, because you will know what it can methylate and what it can't.
Okay.
And then just start supplementing for the sake of deficiency, not the sake of supplementation. And step back and watch what happens.
Supplementing for the sake of deficiency. Supplementing for the sake of deficiency. Interesting concept, right? Because I thought that we supplemented based on what our friends told us that we should take. Right? Oh, you take fish oil, I should too. Oh, what multivitamin do you use? Oh, okay, is that the protein shake I should take? What should I take? So, welcome to Medicine 3.0, where we take a look at our own personal cellular environment and say, oh, this is what I should be doing. And then when we talk about HRT, At age 20, everything's working great. Everything's working great. But by age 30, fertility actually starts to decrease. By age 40, libido is decreasing, mood swings, muscle loss and weight gain. Hormones have declined to the point of deficiency. By age 50, menopause has arrived, lower energy levels, more weight gain, memory loss and insomnia. Hormones are now at deficient levels. Here's a concept for you. What if we treated aging as an illness? What if we treated aging as an illness? What if these things didn't have to happen? Right? What if we didn't have to lose the muscle? What if grandma didn't have to have osteoporosis? Some would say, what if she didn't have to have dementia? And it has to do with optimizing hormones. These are the things people want. It has to do with longevity. You want to reverse the signs of aging, put your hormones back in check. And here's one for you. Here's one for you. This one's going to stretch you a little bit. Say, I'm ready. Say, I'm ready to be stretched.
I'm ready to be stretched.
All right. You're pretty good at talking about this one. You know, somewhere along the way, a friend of yours said, hey, take some BCAAs. It'll help you recover from exercise. So you're good at talking about the branched chain amino acids. You got to take these. You're going to feel better. You're going to recover faster. That's an amino acid. This is an amino acid chain. Are you ready to talk about this one? The peptides. Here's a blend. In this blend, it's a fat burner blend. MOTC helps to improve mitochondria function, and tesamorelin helps to boost that all-important growth hormone and anti-aging hormone. And these are just this is just one peptide, right? Here's some important ones that you should know about. BPC 157 for injury and inflammation. CJC 1295 and ipamorelin for growth hormone release. And then, of course, the ever so popular, the viral semaglutides or tirzepatides for weight loss, otherwise known as Ozempic, Mounjaro, Zepbounds, whatever you might want to call them. Lots of different brand names out there. And pay attention to what the stars are doing. Influencer marketing works. This is Jennifer Aniston. She was in the news recently because she takes a peptide 3 times a week because she doesn't want her skin to age. You know, she's doing an anti-aging peptide for her skin. Now, why is that important to you? Because whatever the celebrities are doing, next thing you know, right? The mom comes in, she said, hey, you know, did you see what's going on with Jennifer Aniston? I'm like, no, I didn't. It's like, well, she's taking this peptide. You know anything about it? I guess I have to learn about it. And here's just some of the stars, some of the celebrities that have admitted to using weight loss peptides. Just a few up here. Now, there's people in this room, there's a lot of different camps on these types of peptides, the weight loss peptides. You know, one camp is secretly using it, one camp is thinking about using it, one camp is adamantly against it, right? And, you know, then you got some that just really need the education. But whatever camp you're in, we can't stick our head in the sand. We can't stick our head in the sand because there's people that are losing large amounts of muscle mass because they don't have your help. Right? So we need to be aware of it. Inside the West Village, there's a longevity clinic, speaking of celebrities, serves celebrities and royalty, and it has a $250,000 a year membership. $250,000. Who would like a $250,000 a year client? Anybody? Okay, just a few of us. Okay, the rest of you guys are like, I'm fine. I got all the money I need. I'm good, you know. Okay, no problem. Now, you only need 4 for $1 million business. That's pretty good. I'm just going to sign up 4 people and I'm all set. Got my 7-figure business. Now, what are they doing? What are they doing in that clinic? Well, here's what they're doing. Comprehensive diagnostics, including DEXA scans, VO2 max testing, extensive blood work, personalized protocols targeting metabolism, hormonal balance, and inflammation. We just saw those peptides on the previous screen. Advanced treatments such as peptide therapy, gene therapy, and neural resets. Quarterly evaluations to monitor and adjust health strategies. Interesting program. Who heard about the Equinox membership that came out last year, $40,000 a year membership? Okay, because you're like $250, celebrities, royalty, I don't serve them. Equinox, they serve similar customers to you. They came out with a $40,000 a year membership. It was called Optimized by Equinox. Here's what they had. Comprehensive health assessments. It includes blood biomarkers, personalized fitness evaluations at VO2 max, strength, and movement. These are the things we're already running in our gym. 3 60-minute personal training sessions per week. Everybody in this room is capable of delivering those. 2 30-minute sessions per month with both nutrition and a sleep coach. Sleep coach, interesting. She's looking at her watch. What's my sleep doing? What's my HRV doing? 1 massage therapy session per month, exclusive amenities like recovery, and wearable technology. When you signed up, they gave you an Oura ring. Okay? Now, let me ask you a question. You don't have to raise your hand on this one, but are you thinking to yourself, well, that's the West Village in New York City. That's Equinox. That doesn't apply to me. I'm not a big gym like Equinox. I'm not in the West Village in New York City catering to celebrities and royalty. Well, as you think, so shall you be. As you think, so shall you be. Everything in your life is a reflection of a choice you have made. If you want a different result, make a different choice. Our thoughts determine our direction, the washer and the string. Our thoughts determine our direction. Jeremy Gritton, where you at? There he is, Jeremy Gritton. Who was in Todd's presentation last night? You in Todd's presentation? It was a good presentation. We talked a little bit about Jeremy, because I know, you're like Equinox, big company, West Side Village in New York. Jeremy Gritton. Let's talk about him for a second. I want to show you how his thoughts determine his direction.
About a year ago, I had an injury here at the gym. I dropped a plate on my foot, basically shattered one of my toes, lots of damage, lots of issues there. Coaching from a chair, as you know, is not ideal for us fire-breathing dragons, and be perfectly transparent, the business was struggling. And at the time, I had literally drained every penny I had in my small retirement, my savings to keep the doors open. And I had just lost my main coach. She was like my right-hand girl. She had actually gone to a competitor nearby. She needed to. She needed more opportunity. I didn't have it for her. So I was in a valley. I was in a real dark place, and just that light, that you always talk about, man, that light was flickering, Todd, and it was almost extinguished. I mean, am I going to go this way, or am I going to leave the industry after 17 years of being on a mission? I felt this pull on my heart to be in Montana, and it was that saying of yours, be in the room. Here's the first domino. The first thing that started this transformation was a dude on a panel speaking named Justin Rothman-Schofer. He was telling my story, and that led me to sign up with his program and the Own It coaching program. And again, I had no business doing that. I didn't have the finances for that, but I signed up with Justin, and that was the first domino, right? Was teaching me about self-care, right? Teaching me how to, you gotta take care of yourself. If you're on this mission, you're not gonna be able to do the mission anymore if there's no more you. And I shared this with you one time, Todd, probably 4 or 5 years ago at one of your retreats, was, man, I feel like God's called me to something more, something greater than I'm doing right now. And what is that? I don't know what that is. But now I do. It was right around the end of January. I've been talking to Travis, about IXP, and we were exploring that a little bit. And he told me about the webinar you were doing, the TNT Profit Coach.
That's right.
And so I jumped on the call, and again, man, I didn't have the finances for that, but I said, you know what? If it's what I'm supposed to do, God's going to find a way. And so I put it on credit, I signed up, paid in full, and dude, we were talking about transformation, Todd Durkin. I'm telling you, stuff has happened in the last 2.5 months that has not happened in 17 and a half years of business.
Like what?
About 5 weeks into it, our first full month, after 17 and a half years, we had a record month. Second month, we had another record month. We're at the 23rd of May, and we doubled our previous record month. Unbelievable, right? I attribute a lot of it to being in the Todd Durkin group and having Travis Barnes as my coach, and being able to tweak those little things that add up to big stuff. Are we truly over delivering for our clients? because, you know, we did a lot of great things, but we were missing some stuff. And so it was that, and then he really challenged me to share what I was going through in our own version, right? So we built a program, we call it the Optimization Thrive Elite Program. And so we actually have partnered with the Own It coaching team, and we're coaching people, man, at the highest level for what I believe is like true transformation.
True transformation. Let's give Jeremy Gritton a round of applause. Good stuff. Good stuff. Your thoughts determine your direction. Sometimes our thoughts tell us that the struggle is just our life. We're just going to stay in the struggle. This is just it for us. Or sometimes I say, go be in Montana. They say, take your own journey first. And we should all do that, right? We can't coach people in optimization unless we're optimizing ourselves. And it says, maybe there's a path. Maybe there's something I haven't done in 17 years. 17 years. Can you teach an old dog new tricks? GTS is the name of his company. You know, sometimes we rule ourselves out when we hear Equinox or the West Side Village of New York, but optimize your health for longevity and performance. No more guessing. We test and assess even down to the cellular level. That's right on his website. Now, who's heard of GTS in Peachtree City, Georgia? I only heard of it because I met Jeremy. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known. But the point is, there's people in this room sitting next to you that are already doing this. It's possible. Say it with me. Say, it's possible. Awesome. Right. This is his program. I asked him if I could share it with you. So, cellular testing, you get custom supplements because we are going to supplement for the sake of deficiency. Semi-private training, bi-weekly life coaching, the mental side of it, right? Daily Whoop. And instead of using the Oura Ring like Equinox, he has Whoop recovery communities. Recovery access, and here's the standard program. If you want one lab test with custom supplements, it's 10 grand. If you want to get a quarterly update, it's 11.5 with updated supplements. Now, Jeremy Gritton, I know it was like about a week apart, he had two different couples sign up, and these two different couples were worth over $40,000 in signups. Now, that's 4 people. There's people in the room that were trying to get 100 or 200 clients to equal that amount of revenue for us. Something to consider here. And then Dr. Tyler Reynolds and Sarah Reynolds. Are they here? There it is. There he is. All right. Functional Effect right here in Downers Grove. I wanted to highlight their membership. So you get unlimited private training, weekly deep health coaching. You can call it life coaching, deep health coaching. This is cognitive behavior therapy type of coaching. Get your life right. Get your mind right. Unlimited recovery room access, 24/7 access to the Functional Effect team, $4.99 a week. I don't want you to miss it. This is weekly up here, weekly membership, right? This is over $25,000 a year. And what is that deep health coaching? Shout out to Sarah. She's working 1 day per week. Anybody want to work 1 day per week and have the other 6 off? Well, she's got all the clients that she wants, doing this $1,000 a month program, roughly $1,000. She generously gave out at her session yesterday, her intake form. Intake form, weekly one-on-one coaching call, customized plan. Most of the people are virtual or in-person gym support, and then a wellness concierge service where they're going to connect you with the wellness things you need. So what's really cool about this program is that so much of it's done virtually. Virtually. If you wanted to work 1 day per week like Sarah, you might be able to do it from anywhere in the world. And if you wanted to still do it alongside your gym, you're not even going to challenge the capacity of your gym. Now, I've talked a lot about other people's programs because I don't want to put the focus on Impact X Performance, but I will tell you what our program is. So this is it. Optimize 360 by Impact X Performance, blood work, customized supplementation, assessment to a customized program, right? Because if we want to supplement for the sake of deficiency, we want to train according to what our data says. 3 times per week, small group training, otherwise known, some circles, semi-private. Everybody's getting a customized program. Exclusive access to recovery. Success coaching. Todd Durkin's invented the 10 forms of wealth. We coach people in 10 different areas of their life, and we call it success coaching. Morpheus community. Difference between Morpheus and Aura Ring and Whoop is you don't have to pay a subscription. You just one time, and then you can start checking out your HRV. Hormone and peptide therapy, and pricing varies according to location because we're in multiple states, multiple cities. But of course, it's going to be competitively priced according to the area that you're in. So what would your program be? See, if you read the description for this session, I made some promises. The promises were that you could come in here today and then you could add an extra $100,000 to your business. But these types of things actually take just a little bit of work while we're here together. So, what would your program include for optimization? Is it cellular, HRT, peptides, all the above? Testing, what will you do? Blood work, assessment, VO2 max? For fitness, will it be private, like it was at Equinox, semi-private, like it is with GTS and functional effect, virtual, like what Sarah does? Recovery, is that the amenities? Is it like a massage like what Equinox is doing? Is it a stretch? How about that? This is the first time I've been at Perform Better where people are out there selling like the stretch certification saying, add this to your gym, add this to your gym so you can have more revenue. It's great. HRV monitoring, then additional coaching, life coaching, deep health coaching, nutrition coaching, sleep coaching. And what will you charge? Everybody in this room should have a handout. If you don't have a handout, raise your hand. We'll make sure you get one because I'm going to give you 2 minutes. You got one? Got one. Okay. Because I'm going to give you 2 minutes to figure it out. Because I want you to, okay, there's 3 back here. Vicki, will you help me out back here? And thank you. Oh, there's a hand full here. We're going to get you guys, we're going to get you some handouts. And I'm going to give you 2 minutes so that we can leave here today with a plan. Take some time and answer those questions on the top of that paper. I'm just going to borrow this real quick. Oh, there we go. Coming over to you. Whoa. Almost lost my mic. Oh, you need one over here? I'll get you one. I'm sorry.
I thought she might.
I'll get you one. I'll get you one right here. There you are. You got it. Okay, everybody's got one now. Good. Can maybe just circle the things on there that you're going to do. Maybe start with Jeremy's pricing in Peachtree City, Georgia. Peachtree City. Well, since Perform Better didn't really give us a whole day together, I just wanted to give you those couple minutes to start to think about it. And why? Because your thoughts determine your direction, right? So let's begin to think about where we're heading and how it's going to apply to us. And notice that one of those columns was, what is the recovery? Because every program, whether it was Functional Effect, GTS, Equinox, every program had recovery. And the reason being, 62% of members, according to IHRSA in 2024, now expect recovery to be part of their gym. Expect it. That means it's mandatory. Used to just be you got away with having some foam rollers on your wall. Right? Oh, hey, we got recovery. You got a foam roller over here. Here you go. Right? Well, it's different now. It looks a lot different. You know, when we got into this industry, I saw different people in the room, 5 years, 10 years, so I'm saying we right now. I'll tell you what wasn't. There was battle ropes, there was TRX and kettlebells and different things that were like really exciting, and even the word boot camp was exciting. Let me tell you what wasn't exciting just a few years ago. Cold water. Cold water. Like nobody was like, cold water, yeah, right? But now you got to have this. Here's a picture inside an Impact X Performance, people cold plunging. Here we are at the Montana retreat. The Todd Durkin Montana retreat. It's November. It's Whitefish, Montana. We had 100%, I think it was almost like 100% participation getting into 39-degree water. We're all cold plunging in the lake. Shift happens. Say it with me. Shift happens. Yeah. So what types of recovery will you include? Will it be red light therapy? Will it be percussion? Will you sit in vibroacoustic loungers like you could in an Impact X Performance and put on your compression boots? FST, we have our very own proprietary blend of Impact Stretch Flow that we're using at Impact X Performance because 500 stretch labs can't be wrong. They're popping up and they're just doing stretching and they keep growing. And this, what will you use if it's not an Aura Ring? If it's not a Whoop, if it's not a Morpheus, there's a lot of different options out there. But instead of supplementing, for the sake of supplementing, we supplement for deficiency and we train according to what the data says. That's how we want to be trained now. And then this, a 24/7 ecosystem. We said about mobile apps are in the top 5, right? Top 5, we kept seeing mobile apps, mobile apps. What does that mean for you? Well, I'm excited to say that we now run our challenges off of an app. It used to be a very cumbersome process to run a fitness challenge. It's like, there's spreadsheets and tracking and people turning in papers in the office and, we're trying to determine who the winner is. It's going to take us a few days after the challenge is over. This is Omni Fitness. We use Train With Me for this, but this is what we do. You get points for doing recovery. You get points for posting about your sleep. You get points for posting about what you're doing for mindset outside the gym. And when the challenge is done, which was point related, and there's lots of ways to earn points, including being the light and bringing a friend. But when the challenge is done, it includes not only your transformation, but this Omni Fitness, and we determine a winner right away without any work, because there's a real-time dashboard. So, you need a mobile app if you're going to do the Omni Fitness stuff today. And what I've been inviting you to do is swim out into the blue ocean with me. Swim out in the blue ocean. Have you read this book, Blue Ocean Strategy? The idea here is that the blue ocean is where the sharks are not fighting. The red ocean is where the sharks are fighting, right? This is what the red ocean might look like. The red ocean might look like a bunch of group training clubs, all only doing group training, trying to compete against one another to see who can get the most group training clients and have a profitable business that way. And how do I know that? Because I'm preaching to the choir, right? Preaching to the choir. I knew that, and when Todd invited me to partner with him and launch Impact X Performance, I knew that was blue ocean. Impact X Performance. Blue ocean, red ocean. Blue ocean, red ocean, right? Okay? This is about mind, body, soul. It's about holistic health. It's about a place where what is the best kind of fitness to do? The kind you want to do. What is expected of the gym? To include recovery. What else is expected? Mindset. We got to put it all under one roof. Get your stretch. Get everything in one place. Go to the blue ocean. Now, I just said what type of fitness is the best kind to do, and of course the kind that you'll do. But in this environment, and the things that we're talking about with personalized training, I do want to show you an important chart. How many people in here would like to have a 7-figure business? 7-figure business? Okay, good. Let's work on that real quick. All right. So if you're going to do a 7-figure business in that shark fight, and you wanted to do it with large group training, you're going to need 500 to 600 clients, 500 to 600. You'll need 3 to 5 coaches. You need to be able to fit 30 to 50 people per session. Okay, 30 to 50 people per session. And you got to replace 30 to 40% of them annually because that's the attrition rate. It's a lot. It's overwhelming. It's almost impossible. But let's say I did small group training. I only need to have a third of the clients. I only need to have half of the coaches. My sessions are very manageable, 4 to 6 people. My attrition rates are cut down to about a third, 10 to 15%. This is the way that you would want to achieve a 7-figure business. I mean, you could also achieve it in that one-on-one realm that you see up there on the screen. However, that's every hour, one client, one coach, this and that, exhausting, right? And of course, it requires probably 6 coaches all working 40 hours a week. It's pretty intense. So this is the roadmap to the fitness of the future. And demographics make a big difference. I see a lot of people not even looking at this part. This is important. Some demographics, you can't do a low-cost membership. Forget the 7 figures for a second. Let's just talk about 30 grand. 30 grand. Okay, I want to achieve 30 grand. And here's my population within a 3 to 5 mile radius. If I want to do it with a low-cost membership, let's say $50 a month, I need 600 members to achieve 30 grand. Might be able to pull that off in a population of 50,000 because 10% are going to be my customer. And then I have to divide them up amongst all the other fitness opportunities. Group training. Are you in an area big enough to pull that off, your 30 grand? Because if you're going to do it on group training alone, you need 20 to 50,000 people so that you can end up with having 200 members that pay you $150 a month. And then in some areas, when you have a small population, you have to have a higher price membership just to achieve it. Sometimes we're banging our head against the wall, not understanding why we can't grow, and we may have already exhausted the segment of the market that's ours and essentially priced ourselves wrong. So definitely think about that when it comes to what your model is and what it will be. So, real quick recap. What I've been telling you about tomorrow's trends and today's simple solutions is optimization is a must. Here's some of the companies we're using. Own It for cellular testing, peptide and hormone therapy, Next Gen. And then we haven't had time to go deep on this today, but if you were somebody that was sitting in the audience today and you're like, uh-oh, GLP-1s and terzepatides and, semaglutides and, they're the devil and I'm mad and I don't want to talk about it or whatever. Well, Make Wellness might be for you because Make Wellness is a company that we're using that provides an organic solution. They're organic peptides. They're not shots. It's not pharmaceuticals. And so this is a good spot to start. You have to offer mindset coaching. Did you notice it was a key ingredient in every optimization program that I put on there today? Small group training should take center stage. It's where the personalization can happen, but you can still leverage your trainer to coach ratio to make more money and actually have people pay less. You got to launch recovery. Remember, it's mandatory. And so I promised you that you could leave here with a plan to add an extra $100,000 to your business. So here it is. Add $100K to your business. If you had high-ticket coaching, you would need 4 clients. Based on some of the pricing I showed you today, 4 clients adds $100,000 to your business. If you did a life coaching, like Sarah Reynolds does, maybe you just need 8 clients. Hi, Sarah. Maybe you just need 8 clients, and then you'll add $96,000 to your business. If you did small group training, and your small group training should be priced at 40 to 60%, sometimes called semi-private. There's a little bit of thing in the industry where we use those terms interchangeably. But $39 per session, 2 times per week. 25 clients adds $100,000 to your business. FST stretching, I believe that this should be priced according to whatever you're charging for your private training so that you could essentially discover that somebody might need more stretching than training today, give that to them, and have them feel like they weren't cheated. So if you did 25 hours of that per week, that would add $100,000 to your business. So, in truth, this might be a $400,000 slide. Or you just come up with some mixture of this up there and you got another $100,000 in your business. But whatever you choose to do, avoid these 3 costly mistakes. As a business coach, this is what I'm seeing. And I just want to encourage you to not make these mistakes. Number 1, no negative thoughts allowed. I'll tell you, I see people with just a ton of opportunities sitting right there in front of them, but they can't see it. They can't see it because their thoughts determine their direction. The expectancy determines the outcome. They're moving the washer and the string in the wrong direction. Einstein said it this way. He said, stay away from negative people. They got a problem for every solution. So check your company. Make sure that when you're seeing the opportunities of tomorrow, you surround yourself with people that see them as well. And here's one for you. People will tell me, I don't have any leads to grow my business. And I'll say, well, tell me about what you're doing for marketing. Well, we cut our marketing budget several months ago. I said, oh. So you're kind of like somebody that said you were hungry, but you decided it would be a bad idea to shop for food. Okay. Marketing works like this. You have to analyze it. You can certainly fire any company that doesn't perform, but you can't cut it out of your budget. Good marketing is good math. Good marketing is good math, right? So we have to look at the analytics. When we open up an ImpactX Performance, we want people to open up their doors with 150 members. Now, if they find good marketing that has a lead cost of about $10 a lead, and we just have regular conversions, 50% to appointments, 50% to show, 50% to close, this client over here, $3,000 spend, which by the way, I believe one of the most important investments you can make in launching a new business is to spend about $10,000 on your grand opening marketing. I mean, because then you're not going to be as frustrated later on where you're still not having the members you want to have. But if they spent this $3,000 a month for 3 months, 37.5 times 3, I get over 100 clients just from good math, good marketing. That's how we would do that. Each of those clients cost me $121. Anybody willing to pay $121 for a client that the same month you're going to profit off of, and then in a few months you're at 10x or 20x or 30x? I hope so. Here's one for you. You've heard that not planning is planning? Yes, but I see a lot of good plans. I just see a lack of execution. Sometimes, we're talking about a plan, and then we come back the next month, we're still talking about the same plan. I'm like, didn't we talk about this plan last month? We were talking about this plan, right? So don't let your plans go to waste. Take action. Because it's action that changes things. Action that changes things. Now, who's heard of the story of the 3 frogs on a log? You heard that? Here's how it works. There's 3 frogs on a log. One decides it's jumping in the water. He's like, man, I'm getting off this log. I'm jumping in the water. I've decided. Okay? How many frogs are left on the log? 3. He says 3. I say you're right. You're right, because he only decided. He didn't take action. You see, it's action that changes things. To illustrate that point, maybe some of you came here this weekend and you're like, I want more coaching greatness in my life. I want more coaching greatness in my life. So who wants more coaching greatness? Who wants more coaching greatness? Right? Because it's action that changes things, right? You got to take the book, you got to read the book, you got to apply the book, and then you got more coaching greatness. And maybe some of you are like, I really want to learn more about that blue ocean strategy, right? Who wants to learn more about the blue ocean strategy, right? There you go. Hey, the sharks are fighting. All right, here we go, right? Because it's action that changes things. I'm going to share with you a quick story by Simon Sinek, where we would not have personal computers on our desk today if it wasn't for this action. There would be no Apple if it wasn't for this action. So I want to share with you this quick little story.
So, in the early days of Apple had already come off the success of the Apple I and the Apple II. It's the late 70s, early 80s, and their next big computer was whatever they were developing. And coincidentally, Jobs and a few of the senior executives went to visit Xerox PARC, which was the innovation center for Xerox. And Xerox showed them a new technology that they had invented called the graphic user interface, where you didn't have to learn a computer language to use a computer, which is how it used to be. But now you could use this thing called a mouse, and you could move a cursor on a desktop and click on folders and move them around in things to use the computer. And Jobs saw this technology and thought this was amazing. If he's trying to empower individuals to stand up to Big Brother, this means that way more people would have access to the technology than the people who learn a computer language. And as they left Xerox PARC, he said to his guys, we have to invest in this graphic user interface thing. And one of the executives, the voice of reason, said, see, we can. We've already invested millions of dollars and countless man hours in a completely different strategic direction. If we abandon that, we'll blow up our own company. To which Jobs actually said, better we should blow it up than someone else. That decision became a Macintosh. A technology so profound that the entire software of Windows is designed to look like a Macintosh. The reason we all have computers at home and at work is because of that decision. To the outside world, it looks like you're crazy to do that you would risk the loss of money or the potential failure. Why would you abandon something that's working for something that might not work? But to the person who makes the decision, because they are driven by just cause, it is so easy for them to see that staying on the path they're on is the path that will lead to death. That this decision is the obvious choice, and the money means nothing, because it means survival and the ability to continue to thrive. Existential flexibility.
Existential flexibility. You got to stay flexible in this industry. We've talked about it. Shift happens. What did Steve Jobs do? He had his top guy, one of his top guys, say, "Steve, we just can't. We've already invested a ton of money going in the other direction." Steve said, "No negative people for me, please. No negative people for me." Steve said, "I'm driven by a just cause. And it's better that we destroy our company than somebody else does." Are you driven by a just cause? We got in this industry to change lives, right? And I don't want anybody going out of this industry. I'll tell you about the most important presentation I ever gave. I love presenting for Perform Better. It was a big goal of mine for a long time, and I feel just honored to be here today. However, it wasn't Perform Better. It wasn't URSA. It wasn't IDEA. I flew over to Portugal Fit one time. It wasn't Portugal Fit that made me the most nervous. What made me the most nervous was March of 2024, being in a house with 12 people and giving a presentation. See, we're a Journey Fitness. We're a Journey Fitness, and I was saying to myself, Jesus, stay on this path. It's the wrong path. There was a shift. There's a shift, and people wanted different things than what I was offering in this group environment. So I had to gather these 12 people in a room, 4 of which had this logo tattooed on their body. I'm one of them. We have this logo tattooed on our body. We had franchise owners, just opened up less than a year. And so they just did the branding of Journey Fitness. Now, as a franchise, they actually sign paperwork that says, hey, your franchise could be sold and, you'd come under new ownership, or there's going to be times where we update our marks and, you're going to have to go along with that. So I could have just been legalistic about it. I could have just said, hey, it's already in there. You got to do this. That's not the type of leader I am. I wanted to bring them into a room, and I wanted them to see what the future was. I wanted them to see that the future was Impact X performance, that we had to become more holistic. And so with palms sweating, I shared the same story that I just shared with you about Steve Jobs. And I said, we got to be willing to destroy our company if we're going to save it. To stay on our path that we're on is the path that would lead to destruction. This is the obvious path forward. And we're driven by a just cause to stay in this game until we want to get out, until we want to retire. Not that we're out of the game because we keep making the wrong choices, trying to do it the way that we've always done it and wondering why people aren't responding. See, the future starts today, not tomorrow. It's already happening. It's your choice. You have to make the choice now to say, am I in alignment with the trends? And if not, let me step into it. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Thank you, Wayne Dyer and Sarah, for sharing that last night. Because what are you seeing in your life? Are you seeing that opportunities nowhere? Or are you seeing opportunities now here? Same letters. What do you see? Your thoughts determine your direction. Is it nowhere or is it now here? Good question here. What simple action could you take today to produce new momentum towards success in your life? Maybe it's start an IXP. Again, I'm preaching to the choir. I took Journey Fitness and rebranded it. There's a great African proverb that says to go fast, go alone. To go far, go together. That's what franchising is, which is being part of a team. figuring it out together. Maybe it's just getting with one of our partners like NextGen, where you can do peptide and hormone therapy. Maybe it's getting with Own It and doing cellular therapy. See, when obstacles arise, you change your direction. You change your direction to reach your goal. You do not change your decision to get there. You got into this industry to be successful. You got in this industry to change lives. It's not going to stay the same. This is a constantly shifting industry. It's not going to look how it did when you first started if you stay in it long enough. So you have to be adaptable. I want you to say it with me. Say, it's not over. It's not over until I win. If you want to change the direction of your life, you have to change the declaration of your lips. Thank you, Stephen Furtick. If you want to change the direction of your life, you have to change the declaration of your lips. Say, I believe. I believe. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. I'd like to get you to your feet and say that. Would you mind? All right. Come on up. Say, I believe that we will win. 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 I've given away some gifts. I want to, if you believe that you will win, I got an even greater gift for you. I want you to come right down here right now if you believe that you're going to win. I only want the winners down here. And for the rest, I want you to support them. Say, I believe that we will win. 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 And that, thank you, my friends. Now, you seriously do want that money. You seriously do want that money. You might be thinking, wait, this is fake money. I'm going to tell you a little story about this money right now. If you want to be an author, if you want to be a speaker, if you want to have coaching in your life, I just gave you a $500 scholarship. If you want an Impact X performance in your life, grab like 20 of them, no more than 20, all right? And we'll give you a discount on that franchise. But seriously, this is your path forward. If you want to be a life coach, if you want to be a speaker, if you want to be anything, take that $500, see us at the table. Thank you so much for letting me talk to you today.